Marcus Hale did not stop for gas because he needed it. His tank was at half. His driver had offered to handle it. But something about the exit sign on Route 9 made his hand move before his brain could argue. "Pull over here," he said. Just like that. The black SUV rolled into a small gas station sitting at the edge of nowhere. Clean, quiet, a little too well kept for a roadside stop. Marcus barely noticed. He stepped out, loosened his tie, and reached for the pump like a man pretending to be normal for 5 minutes. That's when the door opened, and the world stopped. She came out carrying a tray of coffee cups, moving carefully, deliberately, the way a woman does when she is protecting something. Her hair was pulled back. She wore a simple green uniform shirt, and she was very, very pregnant. Marcus's hand froze on the pump. It was Claire, his ex-wife, Claire Hale, the woman a tabloid had called the quiet one he left behind. The woman his mother still asked about at Christmas. The woman he told himself 100 times had probably moved on just fine. She hadn't seen him yet. She set the tray on the outdoor counter, smiled at an older man waiting near the door, said something that made him laugh, then turned to go back inside, and stopped. Their eyes met. Neither of them moved for what felt like a very long time. Then Claire did something Marcus did not expect at all. She smiled. Not a painful smile, not a bitter one. A real, easy, unbothered smile. The kind that comes from a woman who has absolutely nothing to prove. "Marcus," she said simply. He cleared his throat. "Claire." She looked at him the way you look at furniture you used to own. Familiar, a distant, not missed. He looked at her like a man who had just been punched quietly in the chest. He walked toward her before he realized he was walking. "You work here?" "Mm-hmm," she said, already moving back toward the door. "Since when?" She glanced back over her shoulder. "Come inside if you want coffee. It's cold out." He followed her in. The inside of the station was nothing like he expected. It was warm, organized. There was a small seating area with 4 chairs, a handwritten menu board, and fresh flowers in a mason jar on the counter. Real flowers, not fake ones. The coffee smelled like something you'd pay $12 for in the city. 2 customers sat quietly, an older woman reading, a young guy on his laptop. Both looked comfortable. Both looked like they came here on purpose. Marcus looked around slowly. This place is nice." "Thank you," Claire said, stepping behind the counter. "I mean it. It's really nice." He paused. "How long have you been working here?" Claire poured a cup of coffee, set it in front of him, and looked at him with calm eyes. "I don't work here, Marcus." He blinked. "What?" "I own it." Silence. Marcus looked at the counter, then at the menu board, then back at her. "You own a gas station." "I own 4 of them," she said, without missing a beat. She wiped the counter slowly. "This one, 2 in Clarksville, and 1 just outside of Nashville. We're breaking ground on the 5th one in spring." Marcus opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. "I had no idea." "I know you didn't." There was no venom in her voice. That was the part that got him. No sharpness, no satisfaction. Just the plain, unbothered truth. He sat down on the stool at the counter. He wasn't sure why. His driver was outside. He had a board meeting in 3 hours, but his legs just didn't want to carry him back out the door yet. "Claire," he lowered his voice. "Are you okay? I mean, everything okay?" Her eyes moved to her belly and back to him. "Better than okay." "I just mean, Marcus." Her voice was gentle but firm. "Ask what you actually want to ask." He exhaled. "Whose baby is it?" She tilted her head just slightly, like she was deciding how much of herself to give this conversation. His name is Daniel. He's a good man. We've been together 2 years. She paused. We're happy. Something moved across Marcus's face. He hit it fast, but not fast enough. Good, he said. That's good. Is it? She wasn't being cruel. She was genuinely curious. Yes, he said. And then, quietly, yes, it is. You deserve that. Claire studied him for a moment. Then she poured herself a small cup of water and leaned against the back counter. So, what are you doing on Route 9, Marcus? You live 40 miles from here. I had a meeting in Dixon. She nodded slowly. How's the empire? He almost smiled. Growing. Of course it is. How's yours? He asked, and he meant it genuinely. For the first time, something real flickered in her eyes. Pride. Clean, quiet pride. Growing too, she said. Faster than I planned, actually. Tell me. She looked at him sideways. Why? Because I want to know. He held her gaze. I mean it, Claire. Tell me. She was quiet for a moment. Then she pulled up a stool on her side of the counter and sat down carefully, one hand resting on her belly. You remember when we signed the divorce papers, she said, and your attorney handed me that settlement check, and you couldn't even look at me? Marcus said nothing. He remembered. I took that check, she continued, and I sat in my car in the parking garage for 45 minutes, just sat there. She paused. I wasn't crying. I was thinking. I kept asking myself, what do I do now? Who am I now? The older woman in the corner had quietly left. The young man with the laptop had his headphones in. It was just the two of them and the hum of the coffee machine. And, Marcus said, and I drove home. And the next morning I woke up and I thought, I have always wanted something that was mine, not ours, not yours, mine. She looked at him steadily. You used to call me impractical. Dea, you said my ideas were too small. The words landed like stones. Marcus looked at the counter. Claire. I'm not saying it to hurt you, she said quickly. I'm saying it because it was the thing that made me move. She almost smiled. You telling me my ideas were too small made me go prove they weren't. He rubbed the back of his neck. The gas stations. I'd been watching that model for years. People ignore gas stations. Everyone's looking for the next app, the next tech thing. But people will always need fuel. They'll always need to stop. I thought, what if the stop felt good? What if people actually wanted to come here? She looked around her store with quiet satisfaction. We have a loyalty program. 60% of our customers are repeat within the week. Our coffee revenue alone covers 40% of operating costs. Marcus stared at her. Stop looking at me like that, she said. Like what? Like you're surprised I know what I'm talking about. I'm not surprised, he said. He stopped. I'm ashamed that I ever made you feel like you didn't. The words sat between them, heavy and honest. Claire looked at him for a long moment. That's the most real thing you've said to me in years, Marcus. I know. She stood up slowly, smoothed her shirt over her belly, and moved to check on something behind the counter. When she turned back, her voice was softer. We weren't bad people, she said. We were just wrong for each other by the end. You wanted someone who would stand in your shadow and call it warmth. She met his eyes. I needed sunlight. Marcus didn't argue, because she was right, and some part of him had always known it. Daniel, he said after a pause, does he treat you right? He does. Does he know how smart you are? She laughed, a real laugh, the first one. He brags about me to strangers at dinner parties. It's embarrassing." Marcus smiled, and it was a sad smile. Not the manipulative kind, just the honest sadness of a man looking at a door he closed himself and finally understanding why it needed to stay shut. "I want you to know something," he said. She waited. "I didn't stop here because I needed gas." He said it plainly, no drama in it. "I don't know why I stopped, but now I think maybe I needed to see this." "See what?" "You, like this." He gestured vaguely at the store, at her, at everything. "Happy, doing your thing, building something real." He paused. I think I needed to know that you were okay. That I didn't." He stopped. "That you didn't break me?" she offered. He nodded slowly. Claire looked at him with something close to compassion. "You didn't break me, Marcus. You frustrated me. You underestimated me. You made me feel invisible for the last 2 years of our marriage." She said it calmly, like reading from a list. "But you didn't break me. I don't break that easy." He exhaled, long and slow, like he'd been holding it for years. "No," he said, "you never did." A car pulled into the lot outside. Claire glanced out the window, then back at him. "That's my 3 o'clock delivery. I need to go check it in." Marcus stood up, reached into his pocket instinctively. "Don't you dare try to pay for that coffee," she said. He almost laughed, pulled his hand back. "Old habit." He picked up his cup, drank the last of it, and set it down gently on the counter. Then he looked at her one more time. Really looked at her. The woman he had once called impractical. The woman who now owned 4 businesses and was building a 5th. The woman glowing with someone else's love, wearing it like it fit perfectly. "You look good, Claire," he said. "You look really good." She smiled, that same easy smile from outside. The one with nothing to prove. "I know." He walked toward the door, stopped with his hand on the handle. "What's the name?" he asked. "Of the chain? Do you have a name for it?" She crossed her arms lightly. "Waypoint." He turned that over in his mind. "That's a good name." "I know that too," she said quietly. He pushed the door open. The cold air hit him. His driver was standing by the SUV, patient and still. The tank was still half full. The board meeting was in 3 hours. Marcus Hale got into the car, closed the door, and sat in silence for a long moment while the driver waited. "Sir," the driver finally said, "we should head back." "Yeah," Marcus said. He was looking out the window at the little gas station on Route 9. Clean, warm, thriving. "Give me just a second." Through the window, he could see Claire directing 2 delivery workers with calm authority, one hand on her belly, one hand pointing. Smiling, in total control of everything around her. He thought about the settlement check. He thought about the parking garage. He thought about all the times he'd interrupted her mid-sentence at dinner parties because he assumed she wasn't going to say anything worth hearing. He thought about how wrong a smart man can be. "Okay," he said quietly. "Let's go." The SUV pulled out of the lot slowly. Claire didn't watch it leave. She had a delivery to check in, a loyalty report to review, and a call with her contractor about the 5th location at 4 o'clock. She had things to do. She always had. Nobody had ever given her the chance to prove it. So she just went ahead and proved it anyway. And that, more than any headline, more than any tabloid story about the billionaire and the woman he left behind, that was the whole story. The woman he called impractical built an empire out of the one thing everyone overlooks. The place people stop before they keep going. She made it worth stopping for. And Marcus Hale for the first time in a long time, stopped. Just not soon enough. If this story hit you somewhere real, like you already know what to do, smash that like button right now. It helps more people find stories like this one. And if you're new here, subscribe, because every single week we bring you stories about real ambition, real comebacks, and the people the world underestimated. Drop in the comments. Whose side were you on, Marcus or Claire? I read every single one. See you in the next story.